I'm Jon Stimpson. I'm 27, and I'm a GB Start Rower. And the GB Start program is a program that's run by GB Rowing to develop athletes from other sporting background into GB rowers, basically, fast track them into the Olympic squad, essentially.
And that's your goal, to get into the Olympic squad?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been doing it for about 5 years now. I used to play rugby prior to rowing, and been doing it for 5 years. And ultimately, I'd like to go to Tokyo, essentially, in 2 years' time now.
2 years' time. So you're a full-time athlete rower?
Correct. So I'm full-time. I'm funded as well by lottery funding, and I have been funded for about 2 years now. So I've been rowing full-time for 2 years out of the 5 years. And it's basically my job.
Right.
Which is, yeah.
And the boat that you race in is?
So I'll do a lot of training in my single, so by myself, which is pretty lonely, but it can be good fun as well. And I have raced my single the most, I think, out of all boat categories. But I have done other boats as well. I've raced in eights, fours, quads, etc.
And are the distances the same for the different types of boats?
So the distance are the same. So the Olympic racing distance is 2 kilometres. That's the standard summer distance.
Yeah.
And then in the winter, it will be much longer, about 5-6 kilometres head races. So boats will set off one after the other, sort of time trial style. Whereas regattas, so 2 kilometres over the summer, that's side by side with about 6 boats per race.
Right, okay. So we're going to talk about the erg today, because we use the erg a lot for our training, but obviously we don't row, whereas you row but you use the erg for, I guess, fitness, not for rowing technique. So how much training do you do on the erg?
We do a lot of training in the winter on the erg just to build that base fitness. We do, in the winter, we probably do about 40% of erg, and then the rest would be on the water or weights. And then in the summer, however, we do a bit less erging, but it's a great tool to know exactly how fit you are and compare your PBs, and it's very objective.
What would be a typical session that you would do on the erg?
So on the ergo, we do long aerobic sessions, which would be about anywhere from 12 kilometres to 20 kilometres.
Okay.
That can be done straight, basically, which is pretty long, just 1 hour 15, just
Okay.
At lower rate. So it's controlling the intensity so we can last longer.
So, but do you have a set pace that you're trying to follow?
Yeah, so we always look at splits per 500 metres,
yeah.
And that's our guide,
okay.
Our guideline,
okay.
The units we use, and yeah, we'll be able to know based on previous results and how our training is going and progressing throughout the season, what sort of splits we'll be looking to get.
Okay, and what about testing? Do you do any testing on the
yes,
as well?
We do loads.
Yeah.
They're pretty famous in rowing.
Okay.
So we basically do 2 kilometres is the classic one,
right.
Which lasts around give or take 6 minutes.
So what's your best time for 2 kilometres?
2 kilometres is 5:54.
And that would be a split of?
1:28.7,
okay.
I think.
Okay.
And then there's 5 kilometres, which we do more in the winter. It kind of goes along with the types of
right.
races we're doing. So 5 kilometres is give or take around 16 minutes.
Okay. And the split, what's the difference then in the split for a 500?
So per 500, my PB's a 15:42, so that's a 1:34 maybe.
Okay.
For about 5 kilometres, I think, something
okay.
roughly like that. So
okay.
yeah, about 5-6 seconds off the 2 kilometre split per 500.
Okay. And what about, like, do you do any power output testing? with wattage or anything like that?
Yeah. So this is more the fun bit of the erg. Is
Okay.
occasionally we'll do some testing, maybe twice a year, where we'll test out max wattage over 7 strokes.
7 strokes.
Yeah. And that's always good fun, where we can really go for it with the rate.
And what sort of number are you looking for?
I've done about 1,020, I think, something like that. So around like just above 1,000 watts.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So today we're going to do it at 500 because that's something that we do a lot here. Now I know you don't do a lot of 500s, but just to give an idea. So how would you approach that? So for example, what would be let's talk about the damper first. Where are you going to set the damper? Okay,
so we usually check on the row monitor. There's what's called the drag factor.
Yeah.
And we'll put that on roughly 130. So that's meant to represent roughly what it feels like on the water.
Okay.
So and then that's roughly around 6-7, I think, on the 0 to 10 cranks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and the stroke rate, like how many strokes will you do? Would you have a number in mind?
Yeah. So I'd probably set off in low 40s stroke per minute.
Okay.
And then,
which is quite high, right?
It's quite high. Yeah, correct. And then in the middle section, sort of try and go high, maybe high 30s, mid 30s, 35, 36 maybe.
Okay.
And then just try and pick it up towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it like, let's say if you're doing a 500 or a 2K, are you trying to keep a little bit of something in the tank for the end, or are you trying to like go fast and hold on? What's the approach?
So there's two schools of approach.
Yeah.
Basically, you can either positive split it or negative split it. Let's start with that, where we'll set off quite conservatively, and then really have a big sprint finish, and that's how we can cut a lot of time off a 2 kilometre, for instance.
Right.
So that's my preferred method.
Okay.
And then other people I know prefer just to set off on their target split and just hold on.
Right.
And I think that's mentally a bit tougher.
Right.
But some people prefer that because maybe they don't necessarily have a big finish, or whereas I know I've got that capability of sprinting at the end, so that I can allow myself to start it conservatively and then really.
So there's no right or wrong method, it's just whatever you feel can work for you.
Yeah. And I think if you know what works best for you, you can really improve significantly, I think. Just by knowing, how your body works and what you prefer. So I think it's quite good, to try out stuff and see what works, what doesn't.
Right. Okay. Cool. So we're gonna row a 500. So for us, a sub 130 is a pretty good score. We have some people here who've rowed 126, 127. So we'll get on the machine and we'll put the monitor up on the display and we'll see what you can do. Okay?
Yeah,
all right.
Let's do it.
Cool.